This may be a new venue, but it's provided plenty of entertainment. We're going to see what we get here tonight. Welcome along, everybody, to Breakout Racing League's Tier 3 Championship. We've arrived for round 10 out of 16, and we've arrived here at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. Now, Zandvoort, you got 14 corners that make up this track, 10 to the right, and only 4 corners to the left. 2 DRS zones, one into turn 1, the other one going into turn 11. Those will be your main overtaking opportunities. However, they will not be available because, as you can clearly see, we have a little bit of rain action here in qualifying. Will that be stationary for the race? We're just going to have to find out. As I see the coach on softs, interestingly. Well, he's selected the softs. I don't know if that's going to stay the same. We're going to have to find out. So, Zandvoort. We've seen some interesting action going on here in the past 2 years, such as 2021, where Bottas and Verstappen were having a little bit of a tussle, and then obviously Perez and Norris as well through turn 1, having a little bit of a moment. But that's just a couple of moments. And well, Tier 3, we're always going to get something good out of it, aren't we? We're just going to have to see what we get here tonight with our 13 drivers. Let's quickly go over to the Drivers' Championship. And so far, right now, it's close between the top, getting ever so much closer. It's Underdog that currently leads the standings with 144 points to the Red Bull, just 9 points ahead of, not Gary this time around, but Huis. Huis, who we're actually on board with right now, he has jumped up into second place following a 3-win streak. Can he make it 4 wins in a row? We're going to have to find out. And now, Gary has slid down to 3rd place in the standings, 13 points adrift from the championship leader. Kieran currently sits in 4th with 68 points. He's quite a ways away back, and once again, he has not shown up, which is not good for him. Redeemer sits in 5th, followed by James Bean and Slough Balloon in 7th, and Flynn in 8th, following a podium last week, a double podium for Red Bull. I'll quickly go over what happened last week in just a moment's time. But yeah, Flynn, first podium of the season, he jumps himself up into 8th place in the Drivers' Championship. Sinone sits 9th, ahead of Haas. That rounds out your top 10. In terms of the Team's Championship, Red Bull still very much leading the way. 45 points over Mercedes. That's a gap that they would have wanted if they want to seal the Constructors early. Still ways to go. As you can see, both Mercedes and both Red Bulls are here. We're just going to have to watch out for that. Williams, they're slowly starting to climb up, though. Obviously, with the recent form of Huis, who goes purple in Sector 2. They currently sit 3rd, just 3 points behind the Silver Arrows. Then it's Haas in 4th, Aston Martin in 5th, McLaren jumping up to 6th, Alfa Romeo in 7th, followed by Ferrari, AlphaTauri, and Alpine. AlphaTauri actually overtook Alpine last week. We'll see if that changes up. Your host here, once again, is Minico, as per usual. And, well, I'll look over the chat, and Yortster, to answer your question, yes, he has. Underdog has changed his name. He's still known as Underdog, of course, but now it's no longer one Underdog. It's just Underdog, which I think is nice to see. Just simplicity. It's simplicity, that's all it is, and we love to see that. As Gary has left the session, not ideal. And, Rocking Dad, well, first off, welcome to Breakout Racing League, and, let's go. Well, I can't exactly go anywhere. I'm kind of stuck here in the commentary booth, but, you know, I'll try my best here. And, I don't know if any of you guys care, but in case you haven't noticed, I've had a little bit of a graphics update. As QuickTime goes up to 3rd, my thing is bugged. There we go. But, I have a little bit of a graphics update. If you look how crisp this is. That's because, as of recently, I just got the Series X. Ain't that nice? I got a Series X, and now you're going to see higher quality streams for Tier 3 for the rest of the season. So, you know, very exciting. At least for me, that is. Back off Rocking Dad, that's my man. Hello? And, hello, Potato, once again. And, Yortster, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I got the money to get it. Yeah, I've been loving this Xbox since day one, so I absolutely love it. And yes, Series X is better than Series S. I don't have Series S, I never had it. But you know what? I think it's best that I never did. Why don't we go on board with someone? Is Redeemer on a lap? Well, no, he's finishing up a lap. Trying to see who is currently on a lap. I don't know. I'll have to wait until somebody gets a lap in. And Redeemer goes up to second, actually. So a decent lap there from the Alfa Romeo. Still ways away behind Huis. Once again, Huis setting the benchmark at the top of the standings. I had Series S and my 1X was clear for F1. Series S is the same thing, was less storage. Well, sounds about right. To be fair, I've had quite a lot of storage, and it's quite nice. I actually didn't sell my Series X. I mean, not Series X. Hello? What? No, sorry. My Xbox One. I moved it somewhere else. I'm not going to be using it, though. I'm not using it. Someone else is. Not me. Yeah, exciting times. Can't wait. It's great. Your mom has the 1S. H. Can't confirm or deny that. Nah, you mom, not your. So I just got a delivery chicken wings, by the way. And, well, you see why I'm on board with Decker right now, because we're going to go on board for a lap around Zandvoort, as the track is actually getting a little bit drier here, because you haven't noticed the rain has actually stopped. So it's actually stopped, but through into turn one, heavy braking, Tarzan corner, and it's just a simple drift wide, get onto the curb. He doesn't get too much on the curb, shifting early, then turn two, a quick flick to the right before setting himself up for the banked left-hander of turn three. Going a little bit wide, but not too wide, getting on that curb and slowing the car a little bit, but still manages to keep it in check. Then turn four, turn five, and then turn six before going through the fast right-hander of turn seven, pitching the inside line, running it out wide once again, and then quickly going over to turn eight, hitting that curb very aggressively is the Mercedes, but still keeps the car very much planted on the track through turn 9, and then over to turn 10. You want a good exit here if you want to overtake anybody when you have DRS. Obviously, DRS not available, as I mentioned before, but he's still going to go through it nonetheless. And then sector 2, no purple, but now heavy braking zone once again into turn 11. Quickly switch over to turn 12. Try and pitch the inside. He runs a little bit wide, but that still works out for him. Getting onto that curb. There's the final two corners. Two right-handers. Turn 13. Getting close to that curb, but not touching it. That is ideal. And then the banked right-hander. Very flowing corner in the dry. Turn 14. Then drag across the line. What's the time going to be? It's 119.8. He puts himself currently in P3 second row, in which the front row is actually an all-Williams front row. So Fallen got a good lap in, and he's currently in second place. Huis is still maintaining that pole position with a great lap on the inters, but now he's going on to a set of softs looks of it, and Gary's actually also on a set of softs as well. So this is going to be the point now where I think dries are going to be quicker. So now it's just a matter of timing this correctly, because if you can time the track temperature and the conditions perfectly, you can get a good lap in. You would be able to what's the word I'm looking for? You'd be able to get a much higher position than you'd expect. Better to do F1 League Racing? No. Also, why do you keep talking about her? I'm more concerned about that than anything. Sorry if I go a little bit silent, by the way. At some points, I will be eating chicken wings. I'm your dad. Well, he does do racing. Not virtual, though. Much like me. I don't do well, I do virtual, of course. But I also do a little bit of IRL as well. These chicken wings were not what I expected, but it was good. Sorry. I'm just a sucker for chicken wings. There we go. So a couple of people now start going out onto a set of the soft compounded tire. So far, who is on a set of inters? Interesting. You're gonna win a championship? No. I don't think I will this season. Maybe next season, though. As Loud Balloon actually went top of the session, I was gonna mention that before Potato said something. But Loud Balloon goes to the top of 118.1. That's on the inters. Don't forget, Has on a set of the Intercompata tire. Question is, though, what is Gary doing? Gary backs out of it. So he's not finding the time to go top. That is a McLaren off the track. That looks to be Sanone. Was he possibly getting out of the way there? Not entirely sure. Seems okay, though, does the McLaren, so he's good to go. He's on a set of soft Compata tire. Echo's also on a set of softs. This may be around the time where the softs are definitely going to be the quicker tire, as Flynn actually went up into second place. So, yeah, times are tumbling, which means the rain is going away, and the times are soon gonna fall down quicker and quicker and quicker. Will it be enough to be some great lap times, is the question. Gary's gonna rebound. He very well could. Just gonna have to find out. Yellow flags. Quite a few yellow flags, actually. It seems okay, though. I think Flynn's run out of fuel. Yeah, he has run out of fuel. He's gonna have to be careful, though, because Lewis is starting to charge up, and so is Gary as well. Purple Sector 1 for the Williams. Is that gonna be enough, though, to get to the top of the session? He has to be careful because these soft runners are gonna be extremely quick at this stage for sure. As they're coming up to the yellow flags now, they don't have to slow down for this because that is not, because, you know, F1 game, you don't have to. And there's Flynn getting out of the way for the Williams. Lewis is 2 seconds up. DRS has been enabled. That's got to be the indication. That is time for the dries to now be the quicker tire. As Lewis is currently going to come around the final corner. And he's going to open DRS for the first time this session. He's going to go top with a 115.9. What about Gary? Can he do anything? Indeed he can, by half a second. Gary, on the soft Compata tire, is on provisional pole. And if that wasn't an indication that it is now time for dries, I don't know what is. So there you have it. Inters are no longer the faster tire at this stage of qualifying. With 5 minutes left to go, you're going to have to wait until the last second if you want to get the best lap time. Sanone now goes to the top of the session with a 115.1. The softs are definitely looking quicker now. As here comes Echo around the final corner. And can he potentially go to the top of the session? Is Gary's currently sitting in second, his teammate. What about Echo? Can he go to the top of the session? Yes, he does! By nearly a second. Echo, 1 minute 14.2. Gary shouldn't be getting poles. He didn't get one last season. See, that's actually the interesting part, Potato. He actually got a pole position this season. I think he has 2. I think Gary has 2 pole positions, actually. If I look over at the statistics, yeah, Gary has 2 pole positions. So, he's finally found the pace of qualifying. I know, surprising, isn't it? As once again, purple sector 1 for Echo, so he's clearly still pushing along. But so are other drivers. Haas is currently pushing along. He's currently through sector 1. We're gonna have to see who's gonna come out on top. We can very well see a mixed up grid. He just doesn't have me to take them from him. Well, Steg, you're in tier 2 now, so that's why. And you're being slapped up by me in qualifying. So, you know, sometimes you slap, sometimes you get slapped. It's just the roll of the dice. He had 2 poles last season and 0 wins. Gary had 0 poles and a dozen wins. Yeah, that's very true. Echo goes even faster, by the way. 113.4. He's building a bit of a gap. Gary should have been tier 2 last season. Yeah, but he wasn't extremely quick compared to the rest of the field. He was just considerably top, but like not extremely top. As Haas is now going to come across the line. Does he go to provisional pole? Yes, he does. It's a 112.5, and there we go. It's getting even faster. Pole should be in the 1 minute 12s. We are in the 1 minute 12s already. Could be 1 minute 11s for all we know. Like I said, gonna have to wait until the dying stages of qualifying to see who's going to be at the top. As QuickTunk's going to soon finish the lap, as Willie Mixer has now joined the session. He is one of our drivers. Don't worry. And well, we'll see what he can do here in Zandvoort. He got points last week in Belgium. So let's see if he can potentially do that again, as Quick-Tongue's not going to come across the line. He goes up to second place. Good lap there from the Aston Martin. He puts himself on the front row, but those hands are going to be tumbling. Mods, get him. Yeah, if I can figure out how to. I wish I would know how to get rid of that, because I'm a bit the dumb. Oh wait, mod view. Duh. As Fallen goes up into second place, actually. Good lap there. The sun is starting to come out now. The sun now starting to come out now at this stage of qualifying. Let's chill. Well, he didn't set a lap time. Not enough time for another lap as Flynn goes faster now. Flynn is now your provisional pole sitter. And Flynn, who got P3 last week, both in qualifying and the race, looking good once again. However, is he going to have enough time to set another lap? He might. It's going to be very tight, though. It's going to be very tight, as I believe that is the Aston Martin that is going to come across the line. No, he goes straight into the pit, so instead it's going to be the AlphaTauri there of the coach, who's coming around the final corner. Can he potentially put up a fight into the top 10, top 5? We'll see. Comes across the line, goes 7th. What about Redeemer? Redeemer, he's going to come across the line. He's going to start his final flying lap as Huis, who's all the way down in 10th, by the way. He's going to start his final flying lap. These are going to be the dying moments. These are the dying moments, the dying stages. The coach did so bad last season. I still have to eat my chicken wings. I apologize. I'll get to those soon. Maybe when the race is about to start. As Flynn, he's going to come across the line, and he's going to start his final flying lap. I believe Sinone is going to be finishing his final flying lap. Here comes the McLaren across the line. Second place. Not able to beat Flynn, but it's good enough to get onto the front row, but that is not the end of it. That is definitely not the end of it, as Echo's going to come across the line. He's going to start his final flying lap with just 14 seconds left on the clock. That is just enough. What about Gary? He's going to start his final flying lap as well. The coach, he's going to come across the line. He's going to start another flying lap. And he go any better than 8th place at the moment. Time he has 114.3, now 113.9, but it's not enough to go up to the top of the session. Haas has missed the flag, so he is done. Here comes Huis, and he goes onto pole by 1.3 seconds. Wow, time improvement there for the Williams. He goes 1.3 seconds faster than the rest of the pack, but here comes Underdog. He hasn't set a lap time yet here in qualifying. He's going to come across the line now. Can he potentially beat Huis? No, but it's good enough for second place and just ahead of his teammate. Flynn, though, he's improving on his lap time. He backs out of it. He is out of ERS. So he is done. Sinone is done. I believe the next two are going to be the Mercedes boys of Echo and Gary. First, Echo in the George Russell Mercedes. Can he potentially go up onto a provisional pole? He's going to take the shortest run to the line. Can he go better than 10th? He does. He goes up to 4th. What about Gary? He goes up to 2nd place. He beats Underdog, but nobody could beat Huis. It was the one-lap dash for Huis, and he has very well gotten pole position here in Zandvoort once again. It's Huis on no TC. I think he's on medium, but he's moving to no TC for the rest of the season, potentially next week. That is qualifying done and dusted, though. Huis on pole position once again. Wow, the pace he's found. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So Huis beats the pack by 4/10 ahead of Gary. Gary and Underdog separated by just over a 10th. Close between those two. Once again, they sit 2nd and 3rd. Flynn, once again, another great performance there from the Red Bull. He currently sits on the 2nd row alongside his teammate, Echo, in 5th ahead of Sinone. That's Haas in 7th, followed by Lau Balloon, Fallen, and Redeemer, rounding out your top 10 in qualifying. Quick Tongue to coach, not able to set a lap time to get themselves into the top 10. Chill, not setting a lap in qualifying. But that is going to be your qualifying order. What's going to be in the race? That is the question. Check his files, check him. Ron Har. No. I don't think he's no Ron Har. I don't think he's a Ron. Well, he is on PC. No. I doubt it. Also, you like this loading speed? Very nice. Just waiting a little bit for the rest of the drivers to load up. That's why I check his files. Looks like clear weather for us here at Zandvoort. Did you install the Series X version? Yes, I did, Stig. I very much did. Why wouldn't I? Come on. That's a dumb question. Oh, as I was nearly just about to copy and paste the entire chat. Let's not do that. Excuse me while I eat my food. I'll be there for the start of this race. Don't you worry. Don't forget, formation lap is off. It is off due to the amount of bugs once again. Can I just say, by the way, when it comes to the announcer in this game, when you can, like, hear him in the background, have you noticed that they never actually, like you barely understand a thing that they say until you hear the word, well, until you hear the brand Ferrari? Like, is that just me? I know I'm not crazy. Like, I've heard Ferrari, but that's about it. Is Kieran taking a break? Well, he said he was going to show up this race, but I don't know what happened. I don't know, it's a little strange. He's missed the past 4 races, which is very odd of him, because he's very much within the fight of the championship, but just suddenly disappeared, which kind of confused me. I don't know. Also, it's taking quite a while. Right as I say that, the timer pops up. I swear, commentators' curse go crazy, bro. Right. Here we go. It's time. Driver lights are on. Round 10, championship, going down to the wire. Lights out, and away we go. Looks like a pretty good start for the Mercedes once again. He's pulling up alongside Lewis. Into turn 1 we go. Lewis has the outside line. Gary has the inside line into turn 1. Can Gary take the lead from the Williams? But Lewis has the outside line, has the racing line. They're still going wheel to wheel to 2. And Lewis now has the inside line into turn 3. Can Gary try and keep it around the outside? So far, no contact between the two, but they're still going at it. And it looks like Lewis might be able to pull ahead, but Gary's still fighting it. They're still going wheel to wheel. None of them wanting to yield on lap 1. Lewis is going to try around the outside and does so. And E3 takes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix ahead of Gary, ahead of Underdog, ahead of Echo. Then comes Loud Blue and Flame. There's been a contact between the two. That looks like Fallen and Stone going at going at it further back, and they lost a bit of positions. Willie Mixer's moved up a few positions, and now he is up in 9th place. But so far, doesn't look like anybody got any damage, and Lewis leads the pack ahead of Gary, ahead of Underdog. Then comes Echo, Loud Balloon, Flynn, Quick Tug to Coach, who's actually been overtaken by Willie Mixer just further behind, and Willie Mixer has moved himself up to 8th in the Ferrari, so a great start for him. Now to Coach is under pressure from Haas into turn 13. He's not going to be able to do anything of it. Actually, yes, he can, as he goes up the inside and gets the run. He's now up into 9th, and now Redeemer can very well have a look, but lap 1 already done of 36, and oh, that looked like a Mercedes. That looked like Gary was trying to challenge onto Underdog, but he couldn't do anything of it, and he couldn't stay ahead. But so far, lap 1, no damage. We're all good to go. Let's look over at the tires, and Haas is the only man starting on the soft compounded tires so far. It looks like majority of people have elected to go onto a set of mediums, except for Gary, Underdog, to Coach, and Sinone. All have selected the hard compound of tire. That might benefit them in the exchanges. Here goes Haas up the inside. Thought about it. Up the inside of Willie Mixer, and he actually is going to get it. Put the pressure on, force the Ferrari to go wide, and Haas now up into 8th. He's had a pretty decent start. And now that is DeCoach, actually. DeCoach has gone round. He's spun round. And, oh, snap oversteer. But he's able to save the car. And now he's all the way down to 14th. Not a good start for the AlphaTauri. And so far, gap between the front two, 9/10 between Lewis and Gary. Gary, being on those hard compounded tires, he's going to want to stay close to that Williams if he's going to have that advantage on the later stages. We're going to have to find out. But lap 2 already done so far. And while there are a couple of gaps starting to spread out a little bit, as it looks like Loud Balloon's actually trying to challenge onto the back of Echo, and they're going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Loud Balloon's going to go up the inside. Echo's going to try and keep her on the outside. Might have been a bit of contact there, but luckily for them, nothing happens. And Echo able to stay ahead in 4th place. Loud Balloon is trying to go for it around the outside and go for the switchback. He's thinking about it. He's on the back of that Mercedes. He's going to go to the left-hand side. Oh! Close and tight as you want it, but Loud Balloon sees position. Echo able to hold, and he's starting to struggle on those medium compounded tire. Can we see a little bit of overheating there for the Mercedes? That is not ideal for his races. He's going to have everybody challenging all over him. Loud Balloon can very well go for it. He's thinking about it around the outside. He's trying to find some sort of way past the Mercedes. He's going to have DRS now, as DRS is available. Now he's going to try and think about it up the inside. No, he doesn't. He's stay behind. Thinking the long game. Pretty smart way to go for it for the Haas. And Echo going a little bit deep. Already a close battle between these guys. Let's look over at positions gained. So Echo's gone up 1, Loud Balloon up 3. So however, the biggest gainer in this race has been the Ferrari of Willie Mixer, who's gone up 5 positions. Sinone losing out the most, and he's down into 8th. Not a good start, as, oh, close as you want it between the Mercedes and the Haas. Loud Balloon trying to go for the switchback. Can't do anything of it. These two, close as you want it. Bit of contact, bit of rubbing between them, but luckily for them, nothing bad has happened. And now, can Loud Balloon try and go for it? He feels as if he's faster. These two are on the same compounded tire. They're both on the mediums. Loud Balloon's just going to have to try something. Or else he's going to be under pressure from the cars behind, like Flynn, Quick Tug, and Haas. Which Haas, he actually didn't get a great start on those soft compounded tires, but he's now using them to great effect. So both Haas drivers trying to move their way up the rankings. As Loud Balloon stuck behind Echo, Haas stuck behind Quick Tongue and Flynn. He's going to think about a move potentially. Maybe not. He's trying to go for it. Loud Balloon can very well go for it as Echo's defending the position. And he's going to force him around the outside. No, he actually covers it. He actually covers it quite nicely as Haas and Quick Tongue are now going at it for P7. It looks like Quick Tongue able to get ahead, or stay ahead, rather, of the Haas. And that's one thing about this track. It is hard to overtake. So crucial. Haas and the Haas. Yeah, I know. I've made a couple jokes of that. As there's a yellow flag. Who's that for? I think that might have been Chill. I think Chill might have had a bit of a moment there through the final corner. Does he have any damage, though, is the bigger question. It doesn't look like he does, so he just escapes with it. Meanwhile, Sinone and DeCoach going at it. It looks like Sinone has gone ahead, and he has. Oh, meanwhile, Loud Balloon and Echo going at it. It looks like Loud Balloon has finally managed to get ahead of that Mercedes, as Haas is now ahead of that Aston Martin. So both Haas cars moving up places. Loud Balloon, oh, that is the car off. That's Haas. After just making an overtake, he is way off. at turn 7. That's going to cause a virtual safety car. Oh no, what happened there? Was there contact between him and Quick Tongue? As Haas has been disqualified. He's been disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. Ah, that is not what he wanted at all. That, I don't have much on that. Wow, okay. Yeah, Haas. Well, first off, of all things, why a disqualification? You did not deserve that. But what happened between you and Quick Tongue? Because that's you're saying something happened between you two. What happened there? Quick Tongue doesn't have any damage, so yeah. What happened here? Sorry, chicken wings, but we're back racing once again. I thought it would be a good time to eat my chicken wings, but maybe not. Excuse me. I'm a hungry boy, alright? He went in the inside of turn 6 and he wasn't going to make the corner. Oh. Yeah, that would explain. Yeah, that makes sense as to why you're way out at 7. Oh, it's Sinone. Sinone spun round. Now everybody's starting to settle into their positions as Echo gonna potentially try and make a move onto the back of La Balloon. Not quite. Oh, wait, what? Hello? Right. Right, okay. I don't know how to explain that one. But I guess that goes out to 4th now. I mean, nothing you can really control, but nonetheless. As it looks like Fallen's made the move on Chill. Chill down into 11th now. Not ideal. But Fallen now moving his way up the order after that initial first lap contact. And the Williams is going to now try and chase after Quick Tongue for P9. Doesn't look like Quick Tongue got any damage from that earlier contact. So he's okay, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened. By the way, I want to quickly mention, battle for P2. Hello. How you doing, Underdog? How you doing, Gary? Once again, these two battling it out for a position. Gary having to defend from Underdog. He's defending it quite nicely. Gary has another league race in 20 minutes. Wow, okay. He might have to join midway through qualifying. That's not ideal. But Gary able to hold off Underdog for P2 at this stage of the Grand Prix. He's just staying behind, keeping consistent. He's 2 seconds off of Huis now at this stage. Huis starting to pull away on those mediums, as that is Quick Tongue. And Quick Tongue's off at turn 2 and turn 3. No front wing damage there for the Aston Martin, so he's good to go. But that is not what he wanted at all. So we have a tight battle going on. We have a bit of a DRS train forming between Echo, Loud Balloon, and the rest of the pack, all the way down to Redeemer. Redeemer's on the back of this train. Excuse me. So, currently sitting in P8. Can't confirm who is using TC this race. Okay, that is noted. He's not entirely pulling away, though. I say that. He's just gained 7/10, but he's not entirely pulling away at this stage of the Grand Prix. We'll see what happens near the end of this race as to whether Huis can potentially try and hold off Gary and Underdog later on, because those mediums are going to be way quicker. As I said, DRS train forming right now. This is the problem. This is kind of the problem with Zandvoort. You're going to have these DRS trains because it's very, very difficult to overtake. You need to basically send it if you want to make an overtake around here. And Flynn could very well be looking to try and do that, as he's currently on the back of Loud Balloon. Loud Balloon, in which he's actually lost contention of... Oh, wait. Oh, actually. Oh, dear. Oh, and Woolly Mixer. Oh, no. That is not ideal. There's a bit of contact between Flynn after Flynn and Woolly Mixer. Flynn not exactly having the best of exits at turn 3, and Woolly tried to make his way through. A bit of contact between the two, and that is not what the Ferrari wanted, as he is all the way down in 10th now. He was looking pretty aggressive at the early stages, and now all that hard work that he went through, completely undone. Still in the points though. There's James CC there, cheering on Redeemer. Redeemer only is currently sitting in 6th place, so he's doing a good job, up 4 positions. So yeah, Redeemer doing the goods. And he potentially moves his way up into 4th place as he's on the back of Loud Balloon and Echo. Gonna have to be careful though, because if he's not too careful, Flynn could very well reach up onto the back of these guys as well after that initial contact. Looks like Flynn doesn't have any damage, so he's escaped any damage from that contact, but it definitely would have shook his nerves a little bit. I think he'll be good to go, though. What lap should hard runners pit? That is a great question. I think the pit window is going to be around lap 23? 23, 22? I'm not entirely sure. Full disclosure, I actually have not done a league race around Zambort this game. As weird as that is, I have not done it, so I don't know. But don't worry, I'll be there tomorrow for Tier 2. So, if you want to watch that, go ahead. Which, by the way, Tier 1 and Tier 2 are tomorrow at the same times, and then Tier 2 is just 2 hours after Tier 1. That is, of course, commentated by this man right here, Flynn. Flynn currently commentating Tier 1. His Loud Balloon, I think, might actually be lagging a little bit, as he's now just been overtaken by Redeemer. But Gary's race is in an hour. He's fine, then. Oh, and that is a man into the pits, and that is Echo. Oh, and he gets a 5-second for speeding in the pit lane. Set of hards, though, for the Mercedes, as you see T-posing Red Bulls. Alright. But Echo now onto a set of hard compounded tires, and now this is going to be the difficult task for him. Getting those tires up to temperature, because they're going to be very, very cold coming out of the pits, and you can see it. He nearly understeered off the track. So now he's just going to have to warm those tires up as much as possible, and he's performing the undercut on these guys, and oh, Gary! Gary's gone round! Spun round over at turn 10. What has happened to the Mercedes? So, from him holding up Underdog, I highly doubt there's contact between the two. I highly doubt that. Those two never made contact. But that has completely unsettled Gary. He's way down. He's 6 seconds off the Red Bull. Oh, man. One thing's for sure is that Redeemer's now up into 4th place after Echo pitting, and I think, is Redeemer on a set of the hards? No, he's on a set of mediums, so he's going to have to pit soon. Flynn also going to have to pit soon. Loud Balloon also having to pit, so Echo's very much performing the undercut on these guys and try and pull away. But the undercut isn't really as powerful when you're on the hard compounded tire. If you're on a set of the mediums and you perform the undercut, it's a lot more powerful. Because obviously, tires will warm up much quicker. As now everybody starting to settle into the rhythm, settling in, knowing where they are, and seeing what more they can achieve at this stage of the Grand Prix. And right now, the only pit stop in this race, that being of Echo, and I think Quick Tongue's also pitted as well. Nope, Quick Tongue hasn't pitted, so it's just only Echo, and well, I think he's timed it pretty early now. Looking at it, we'll see. And so far, right now, nobody has DRS at this stage of the race. Looking over, it looks like Redeemer has now moved up the most positions. Up 6 positions for the Alfa Romeo. But he still has to pit, as does everyone else. And Redeemer, does he opt to go into the pit? No, he does not. Flynn does not go into the pits. Loud Balloon also not going into the pits. So, I was about to say so, as Chill has actually had a moment at turn 14. He's trying to get the car onto the track. Just about, there we go. He's got the car on the track, and I think that is his indication to pit. Is it his indication to pit? Indeed it is. So Chill, gonna go into the pits on lap 12. He gets to stop just in time. He's gonna go into the center of the hard competitor. Does he have front wing damage is the question. He does. Front wing damage for the Alpine. That is not what he would have wanted. Question is, though, when does Huis pit? Because he is also on the medium compounded tire. He's gonna have to pit at some point. Lap 13, does he think about it? No, he's electing to go a little bit longer. The more he stays out, the more the hard runners are going to be the faster tire at this stage, because those mediums are not going to be looking pretty great going forward with the Williams. And yeah, you can see the tire wear on the right-hand side, well, the right front tire, not entirely looking pretty. You can see the wear on it. Same with the left front as well. As we have a yellow flag, once again, that is Quick Tongue, who's got round. Quick Tongue going around at turn 12. No damage, though, for the Aston Martin, but he might pit this lap. Who is still able to pull a gap despite those mediums starting to wear off. Obviously, he does have the pace, but sooner or later, that pace will just completely disappear, and now it's really his chance. If he wants to hold this, he has to pit sooner or later, get those tires up to temperature, and start to pull a lead. Because Gary and Underdog, they're going to be roaming onto the back of him. Huis, though, electing to stay out. And now lap 15 of this Grand Prix, it's going to become detrimental if he stays out a little bit longer. But I think he's just saying that the mediums will last a lot longer than he expected. His Quick Tongue has now been overtaken by Chill. Chill going around the outside at turn 3. Great move there from the Alpine. He moves himself up into 12th place. As Echo's managed to close up onto the back of the coach now. So Echo, oh! Right as I say it. Right as I say it. Echo having a moment there. Out of turn 13. If that doesn't indicate... Oh, no. Uh-oh. That's not ideal. Redeemer's left the session. See if I can get him in as soon as possible. Get him in. He was running in a good position. He was in 4th, and now he's just been overtaken by La Balloon. See how quickly I did that, by the way? Speed. That's all this Xbox is just speed. Yeah, anyways. Oh, there we go. Huis is into the pits. The pit stops now effectively going to come into place. Our compounded tires for the Williams. Those will easily go to the end, no problem. He's going to come out. He's actually going to come out behind this train, I think. Oh. That's not ideal. He's going to be on the side of hard compounded tires. He runs a little bit wide. Does Flynn manage to get ahead? No, he doesn't. So unlike Belgium last week, not able to stay ahead. But his mediums are going to be warmer, but they're not going to be the best. Who is able to stay ahead, but now this becomes interesting. Because although he is ahead of Flynn, Huis, he's behind Lao Balloon. And if he catches up onto the back of that Haas, could very well be held up, and that is going to cost him dearly. Oh, the Aston is in the back. Yes, Quick Tongue not having a great time here around Zandvoort. All the way down 13th. A lap down, actually. Not great for him. Best circuit on the calendar, Zandvoort. I mean, personally, it's not my favorite. As Redeemer's left the session again. What is going on with Redeemer? And Loud Balloon electing to go into the pits. Redeemer also electing to go into the pits. Was AI electing to. So I shall invite him once again. Here we go. So Lewis now has clear air. He's only got Gary in front of him, in which the gap between him and Gary is 6.7 seconds. Echo grabs a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That's actually the first track limit time penalty we've had all race, which is interesting. Is now actually Echo's going for a move. Oh, my cursor's broken again. As Echo's gone for the move onto Coach. Now Echo up into 9th, but because of that mistake he had earlier, he's actually been overcut by Redeemer and La Balloon. So the undercut has not worked for the Mercedes. He's lost 2 positions. He actually really likes Saudi Arabia. I'm a bit mixed with Saudi Arabia. I think in terms of like how the track physics are, it's great. But in terms of like the actual like environment and stuff, I think it's terrible. But, to each their own. As Echo's going to have DRS on Redeemer, and Redeemer, obviously, he is starting to join back into the session. Echo's going to go up the inside. Thought about it. Redeemer held his line and kept that position. And now the Coach has actually gotten ahead of Echo. So that dive didn't work out. It's broken again. Hello. Here we go. Now here's the big question. Flynn has elected to overcut these guys. Can he potentially get ahead? He's going to come out wheel to wheel, actually, with La Balloon. Now, La Balloon is just able to squeeze ahead. But Flynn has actually overcut Redeemer. That is the only track I can do with any sister line so far. Flow's good. The flow's not great on controller. It must be great on wheel. I'll say that. Yeah, Haas, it's not been ideal the past couple of races for you, but sometimes you just gotta keep your head down, focus forward. It's not over yet. You're still in the mix. You can still get something out of it. Just push it, push everything you can, and oh dear, Redeemer. Wooly Mixer up 10 spots. Yes, Wooly Mixer is up 10 spots as Huis now sets the fastest lap of this race, 1:14.0. And he's trying to chase after Gary and Underdog right now. Yeah, Wooly Mixer up 10 spots. He's actually gone into the pits now, and he gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Going on to a set of hard compounded tires. He's taken those mediums 18 laps, and now he's going to do 18 laps on a set of hards. He's going to come out. Ooh, this is going to be a bit interesting. He's going to come out maybe just ahead of Fallen. No, he's going to come out behind Fallen. The Orland on the Williams looks bad. Yeah, well, I mean, Orland, Kubica, you know how it is. Obviously, they don't have Orland now. But I'd have to agree, the Orland didn't exactly look great. It felt a bit unfitting. And then Latifi sponsors came in, and Kubica sponsors went out, and then Williams actually looked not too bad. Just like how it is in this game. The Williams doesn't look too bad. Arguably, though, it looks better next year. Oh, Orland on the Alpha. I'd have to agree with that 100%. The Alfa Romeo, the way... Not the Alfa Romeo, the Alpha Tauri, the way they implemented the red, terrible. I'd have to agree 100%. It just looks... It looks like they just splashed it. They just, like, took a sticker and slapped it on. That's pretty much what it looked like, and it's bad. Sonone is into the pits. And he was on the hard combat tire, actually. So Sonone going into the pits on lap 20. Is somebody else going into the pits? No, it was just Sonone. Sonone now is going to be on a set of medium compounded tire, and those will easily go to the end, I think. Was that 16 laps? Yeah, well, no. 17 laps. Got a bit of work to do because he's quite a ways behind Redeemer and Wooly and the rest of the pack, but he is going to be on the better tire. You like the McLaren car? I do too. I do too, but 2019, the 2019 McLaren looked so nice. That's just my opinion, though. Like the 2019 McLaren, that is probably my favorite McLaren of recent year with the papaya. How could you say something so controversial and yet so wrong? For what, the McLaren? I don't know. I don't know what you're on about. As Fallen is starting to close up onto the back. Oh, that was getting a bit close between Fallen and the coach. Fallen was potentially looking for a move onto the AlphaTauri, but he thought better of it, backed out of it instead. It's a little bit wide though. 20% is going to be Max P1, Alonso P2, and Sainz or Checo P3. I can very well see P1 and P2. P3 though, I'd have to bet my money on either Checo or Leclerc. Paris P1 along, Max DNF, Alonso P2, Stroll P3. Sure. Man, I think Leclerc would be up there, maybe. I know the Ferrari doesn't look great, but you know. Why? I like it, the colors. The papaya does look great. It does. As the coach is starting to fall away from the back of Echo, and now Fallen is going to be on the back of them. Looking over at tires, by the way. The coach is yet to stop. The coach hasn't stopped in this Grand Prix. And, well, he's going to have DRS. He's going to have the slipstream. He doesn't have the ERS levels, but he's going to close up onto the back of the AlphaTauri. Not going to do anything yet, though. Everybody DNFs, and Mazepin descends from heaven and wins. If that happens, then my gosh, world will go crazy. McLaren whack. Debatable. As the coach goes into the pits, it looks like Fallen was just trying to get slipstream there as the coach gets a 5 second for speeding in the pit lane. No. Not ideal. By the way, just want to say, your race leader right now, 10 seconds ahead of Gary and around 14 seconds nearly ahead of Lewis. He's currently not one underdog, just underdog. Gonna have to get used to that a little bit. Underdog staying out selectively, so he's going a little bit longer on these hard compound tire. He did this back in Belgium last week. This be a bit of a strat here for the Red Bull. Does it go long onto a set of sauce? Maybe? McLaren is so bad to wait until 2025. Hear that one about 80 times. Sure. Yeah, underdog just maintaining the gap between himself and Gary. Gary slowly closing up and then slowly starting to fall back. Lewis is actually starting to fall back now. Let's look over at the leader interval. And right now, if underdog were to pit, he's going to come out comfortably P3, so he's very well could be in a top 3 position, and well, when he is in a top 3 position, he usually finishes in a top 3 position, especially this season. So we'll see. And a better question is how much further does he come out behind Lewis? The gap between them is actually increasing a little bit, which is interesting. As Willie Mixer's made the move on Fallen, and oh no, Fallen hit the wall. Has he lost a bit of his front wing? He hasn't. But spinning around at turn 2, and that has cost him not 1 but 2 positions. Not great for the Williams. Controversial opinion, Hamilton is overrated. Oh. Yeah, hot topic. Hot topic. But I ain't gonna put my opinion on that because Hamilton's had, you know, obviously he's had great cars, but you know, you had to perform. I'll just say that. There's a lot of balloon guys at 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Yeah, but as Alonso said, he can only drive from pole. I love seeing that, and then them going over to a clip of Hamilton driving from last to first in Brazil 2021. I find those clips kind of funny. Because it's just like, are you sure about that? At the same time, though, it's not entirely wrong. He knows how to drive from pole. He knows how to drive from 14th, sorry. Here's a question, though. When does Underdog pit? When's he gonna pit? He is not coming in now. So, this is interesting. 7-time world champ overrated? I mean, that's just their opinion. It's Gary electing not to go into the pits. He's following the same strategy as Underdog here. And if you look at the gap between Underdog and Lewis, actually, the gap between them is actually increasing a tiny bit, which is interesting. Come on, Quick Tongue, do something. Like poke him with a stick. This is rude. The delta for him is actually broken. But he's currently sitting a lap down from the leaders. Max clear nowadays. I mean, Max is a great driver. I mean, he's a generational driver, to put it simply. I ain't got much more on that. He's doing the work. He's doing exactly what he needs to. He won 6 of them in superior technology, never really had to earn them except his first championship in McLaren and when he was against Rosberg. Yeah, we move from that. Oh, Echo's had a moment. Echo's had a moment, and now he has fallen down the order. And here we go, Underdog's in the pits. Underdog into the pits. Yellow flag at turn 2. Set of mediums there for the Red Bull. Where does he come in relation to Lewis, though? That is the bigger question. Gary's electing to stay out, so Gary's staying out at this stage of the race. And Lewis, he's now coming over to turn 1. He's going to come out ahead of Underdog. But what is the gap between them? The gap between them, when Lewis pitted, was round about 4 seconds. Gap between them now, 2 seconds. He's gained time by the overcut. Now this is going to be huge. There's the yellow flag once again. Echo spinning around. Gary's going for the heart to sauce, potentially. But this is a big moment now for Underdog. Once he gets those tires up to temperature, Lewis is going to be struggling, and he has struggled. Lewis, he's made a mistake. There it is. Lewis off at turn 9. And he has just completely lost the provisional lead. He lost a bit of time due to Underdog going long, but now, after that mistake, Underdog is now provisionally your race leader. And Gary is still electing to stay out. So Gary still stays out at this stage of the Grand Prix. Underdog, he's pitted. He has the net race lead. So now all he has to do is just pull away from Lewis, and that could very well be his race. As Echo's retired from the session, that is into the pits. That is our second DNF. That's our second DNF for this race. I'm going to count it as a DNF for Haas because that disqualification was, the disqualification was unnecessary, to put it simply. And Underdog, he's pulled away. He's pulled away from the gap to Lewis. So now Underdog has that gap. He's going to pull away. He has your race lead. And Underdog, your championship leader, who, going into this race, 9 points ahead of Lewis, he only has 1 win to his name. He stepped on the podium, if I can count this right, 6 races out of 9, has been in the top 5 every single race. At this stage, it's going to be another top 5. But he is potentially going to now pull away. He sets the fastest lap as well. Underdog is now, he could very well pull away. And although a bit of luck may have been necessary, the pace compared, the pace on mediums compared to hards. Now, Underdog, he's got the pace. He's going to easily pull away, and he could have potentially still had this. I think Gary will still lose the lead if he did do that. You thought Echo crash gated for a second? No. As Sinone's gone round. Sinone has gone round at turn 10. He actually had a couple moments. I completely missed them. That's on me. But that is not ideal for Sinone. It's all the way down to P11 now. It's Gary still staying out at this stage of the race. If he pits now, he'll come out in 3rd. But does he go into... I think he's waiting for a safety car, actually. The more you think about it. He's done this many times before. He's doing it again. Gary's electing to wait for a safety car. He's now lapping Chill. Not sure what Gary's thinking about here, but one thing's for sure is that he's definitely going to be caught up by Underdog. Underdog is just absolutely flying. 3 seconds between himself and Huis, and 2.4 between himself and Gary. Underdog has just been... He's been extremely quick now at this stage of the Grand Prix. What's Loud's penalty? It's a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So as of right now, he would lose P4 to Flynn. Yeah, Loud just kind of... He's trying to pull away from Flynn. He's got... well, he's pretty much got clear air to do so. Question is, though... excuse me. If he has the time. Either way, he's finishing P5. Well, that depends if he pulls away or not. We'll have to see. As now that Red Bull can very well see that Mercedes. These two championship rivals at this stage of at this stage last season. This season, they're still close to the championship, but Underdog this time around has been the faster driver. Gary's gonna go into the pits. He's into the pits on lap 30. Start of lap 30, and that is a set of softs. Yeah, that's a set of softs there for Gary. He's going to go to the end. And he's potentially going to try and take fastest lap. That is his strategy here, in which I don't blame him for doing this. But now Underdog, for the second time this race, my apologies, takes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. Zandvoort, obviously, knowing for Max Verstappen driving that Red Bull, winning the past 2 races. Underdog, he's driving the Verstappen seat. He's in the Red Bull. He could very well take it, and that would be great for them. Not only for him in terms of the drivers pulling away from the man in P2, but also just pulling away in the Constructors' Championship, because as it stands at the moment, with Underdog getting 25 points and Flynn potentially getting 12, that is 37 points for Red Bull. They will pull away from Mercedes and Williams once again. I think Williams will actually overtake Mercedes for second place in the Constructors. But Red Bull, as of, well, this entire season really, but as of late, has shown some strong form. Flynn there in the top 5, Underdog in the top 5 every single race, in the past couple of races has finished on the podium. Celebrations look to be for the Milton Keynes team. As everybody now spread apart in their own separate battles. As Loudbloom's starting to pull away from Flynn, and Wooly Mixer's pulled away from Fallen. And Wooly, currently sitting in 7th, he's had a pretty decent race after getting points last week in Belgium. He could very well do it again this time around at Zandvoort, 2 completely different tracks, and he seems to have a decent handle on both of them. And finishing in the points-paying position, still a long ways to go. We've lost Sinone, Echo, and Haas from this Grand Prix, mostly retirements in the pits. Except for Haas, who unfortunately got disqualified, but that is, that's just extremely unfortunate for him. It's Gary, he's set a purple sector 2, so Gary is very well going to take the fastest lap as long as he just keeps it together around this final corner. Here we go, across the line. That took a second. There we go. Gary now takes the fastest lap. Redeemer grabs a 3-second time penalty. Oh boy, that's not good for him. Apologies for that. Just had to quickly do something. We're pretty much at a quiet stage of this race, though, so, I mean, I feel like this could be excused. Loudon has gained about 4/10, so he might do it. He very well could. Loudon could very well take 4th. He needs to pull around 2/10 if he wants to take 4th place in this race. As Gary grabs a 3-second time penalty, that won't really affect him that much. He's 9 seconds off of Huis, and Huis doesn't have a time play, so he's going to have to gain around 12 seconds in a span of, if I'm looking at this right, yeah, 4 laps. That's pretty much impossible for them to do. Yeah, Underdog now pulling this advantage, 6.7 now on lap 33. He's pretty much got this race in the bag. All he has to do is just bring it home. Just 14 corners and 3 more laps once he crosses the line. It's, well, he qualified 3rd. He had a bit of a tussle with Gary. Gary had that spin, and then Underdog just took those hards longer and longer, overcut Huis, gained a bit of time, and then obviously the mistake from Huis didn't exactly help, but Underdog has just completely pulled away from the rest of the pack, and since then, he's never really looked back. He's only looked forward, and he could potentially be looking forward to his 2nd race win of the season. He got 2 wins last season. He won the opening race, and then he won in, I think, Mexico. So this is simple for him. Gary is slowly closing in onto the back of Huis, but it's not going to be enough. He has the fastest lap, so he's got that covered. All he has to do is just nurse those tires to the end, because obviously those softs are really going to deteriorate. Potato's trying to guess your first name at the moment and failing hard. Potato! It looks like the coach might actually get lapped here, and the coach is kind of running his own race. Actually, the coach isn't here. He isn't here? Really? I thought he was here this entire time. Never saw this. But he isn't here. He's currently sitting in P9 right now. Chill in P10. That's rounding out your top 10 out of 11 drivers that we have in this race so far. Underdog across the line, starting lap 35 now. There's 2 more laps to go for the Red Bull. Meanwhile, his teammate trying to close up onto the back of La Balloon. Did La Balloon get a time penalty earlier? No, he did not. Oh, that's a yellow flag. That is Fallen. Fallen's had a moment. He's spun round. He has lost a bit of his front wing. That's not good. He's still got a bit of a gap, though, to DeCoach, so he's going to be able to finish in P8, no problem. As Quick Tongue has retired from the session. That is going to be the 3rd DNF of this race. It's not been great for him, I'll tell you that much. What have you missed? Not much. I mean, it's been kind of like one of those races, I guess you could say. A couple of retirements, no safety cars. A couple of mistakes here and there. But yeah, it's been a pretty calm race, I guess you could say. It's just one of those races, I guess you could say. It's a pretty normal one. Comes car is driving onto the track. Yeah, the AI does tend to do that. It's a bit strange. It doesn't cause a safety car, though. Don't worry about it. As we are now on the final lap of this Dutch Grand Prix. And just 14 corners will make that 11 corners for the Red Bull. Underdog, he's had great form as of late. Out of 9 races, he's finished in the top 5 every single race. He's finished on the podium in 6 out of the 9 races. 3 second places, 2 third places, and he's about to make it 7 podiums in 10 races, but this time it's gonna be win number 2 for the Red Bull. After taking the championship lead, he's held it so far. He's had immense pressure from behind, from the likes of Huis and Gary, but the Red Bull has managed to keep it calm, get the track positions. It's actually going a little bit slowly here. What's going on? He's not out of fuel, so let's never get that. I guess he's just taking it a little bit slow. And well, he has the gap to do so. He comes round the final corner. The Red Bull here at the Dutch Grand Prix. He wins here in Zandvoort. Underdog takes his 2nd win of the season, increases his championship lead. A commanding drive. And he is definitely not gonna forget that. Lewis will come home to take second place. A mistake that cost him the lead. Not what the pole sitter would have wanted. Gary comes home to take third place. Once again, finishing on the podium is the Mercedes. La Balloon will come home to finish in fourth. He does manage to keep that fourth place. Flynn will come home to take fifth. Red Bull, once again, pull away in the drivers, in the constructors. Redeemer will come home to finish in sixth, ahead of Wooly Mixer. Wooly Mixer with a 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. That won't really affect him. Fallen will come around the final corner, and he will finish in P8. The coach will finish in P9. That will round out your top 10 as Chill finishes in 10th. The underdog, commanding, simple. I don't think he could have done any better. Just brilliant, brilliant racing. Championship leader. Drive of the day goes to Wooly Mixer. Obviously, Wooly Mixer starting at the back and finishing in P7. A great drive from him. He would definitely be earning a driver of the day, I would say. Underdog is like me in Season 2 of VF1. Got win early in the season, got the points lead, held the points lead, got a second win late in the season, drives a Red Bull with a number 21. Yeah, very well. Gary sprints his next race. Yes, indeed he does. Hopefully he can join us for interviews. The underdog, with the wreath around him, takes the trophy and celebrates his Zandvoort victory in the Red Bull. He's in Verstappen's seat. Well, he's very much done a Verstappen-like drive. He wins. Lewis will come home to take second place. Another podium for him. And Lewis trying to challenge for that driver's championship. Has a little bit of work to do after this race. Gary, once again, will take third place, losing out once more in the championship. As I shall invite the drivers for their interviews. But Underdog will take the win here in Zandvoort. His second race win of the season. Lewis will come home to take second place. La Balloon will come home finishing in third. And then is La Balloon in fourth ahead of Flynn. Then it's Redeemer sixth. Wooly Mixer in seventh. So I'm trying to get our drivers in for interviews, excuse me. Fallen in eighth. The coach in ninth. Chill rounding out the top 10. And Quick Tongue, Sinone, Echo, Haas, unfortunately, not making it to the end of this race. It's a pretty simple affair for the Dutch Grand Prix, but I think it'll be a good one for some to remember. And well, the championship lead starting to increase at this stage. As I believe we're just waiting on Lewis to join us here for interviews, but we can quickly get this underway due to the fact that a certain someone here does have a race at the moment. But we'll quickly get this underway while we wait for him, and drivers, be sure to include your audio. We'll quickly get this started. Gary, once again, another podium for you. You didn't really have the pace to challenge the front two, but nonetheless, you kept it calm, you kept it clean, and although that one little spin, you had the gap, and you kept third place, and you took the fastest lap as well. Tell us how that race went for your perspective.
Yeah, can't grumble with third place. I enjoyed the drive. Good battles. Obviously, whilst I was in front of Underdog, he was pushing me, which was good. Like I say, it's always nice to have someone that's trying to make you go. It's obviously, I lost it at the left-hander just before sector 3. I didn't even feel it starting to go before I knew it. It was sideways. Like Underdog said in chat, he brushed me. Hopes he didn't damage my wing. It was fine. I just hope I didn't do anything to him as well, and it was just more embarrassing than anything. But yeah, apart from that, I just held on to them hards for us. I probably could have done an extra couple of laps on them, to be fair, but I just held on to them just in case of a safety car, and just with obviously Underdog going on the mediums and setting the fastest lap, I wanted to try and give myself a better advantage to not give him that extra point. Friendly type deal. But yeah, like I say, it was a good race. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, crucially taking that fastest lap from Underdog. You pretty much did all that you could do. And well, 3rd place once again. Congrats. Next week, it's a very familiar street circuit for some, and a personal favorite of mine. Azerbaijan, the Baku City Street Circuit. A track known for chaos. How do you think you'll do?
I'm ready. I'm ready for this. No, the next few tracks are more, I'd say, in my favour of liking in will and skill and all that stuff, but I know where I can push my boundaries on Azerbaijan. And to be fair, I've had a couple of races recently out there, so I've kind of got my eye in already for next week, and yeah, I'm gonna make the top 2 guys work for that win, for that championship.
I'm just gonna say this right here, right now. You and me both when it comes to Azerbaijan. You and me both. Yes. You have no idea how much I love that track. It's gonna be good. I already know it. Nonetheless, though, congratulations to you and on 3rd place, and good luck on your race. I know you're in it right now, so good luck in the race that you're in right now. Hopefully you do well, like you did in this race. Maybe even better.
I'm gonna try.
I'll have to find out. Maybe tell me.
Cheers, mate. Take care. I'm gonna jump out.
Too,
Great racing, guys. See you next week, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.
And with that, we'll quickly move over to 2nd place, and Huis, once again, pole position, as you have done the past couple of races, but unfortunately, that one little mistake just cost the win there. You were on track for the lead, but just that one little mistake let Underdog just slip by, and well, you pretty much stayed in 2nd place that entire race. But nonetheless, tell us how that went from your perspective.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, but happy that I still managed to get P2. I then noticed I pit a bit early for the hards, and then a few laps after, I got a red flashing light on the fuel, and I was like, uh-oh, and then I just lost about almost 2 seconds to both Underdog and Gary because I had to save fuel. And then as soon as Underdog pit, I made that one mistake. But even if I had not made that mistake, I think it still would have gone to me. I basically threw it when I pit too early, so not what I did. Everything I did not want to do today.
Yeah, nonetheless, though, you still managed to grab 2nd place, so still some decent points for you in that charge for the Drivers' Championship. And then going into next week, Azerbaijan, you think you'll survive the chaos?
Yeah, Azerbaijan is one of my favorite tracks. I feel like I can.
You and me both on that one.
I feel like I can do pretty good there, but I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to make it next week. So.
Well, hopefully you do, because obviously, with it being a favorite track of yours, it would be very nice. It would be very nice to see.
And it would also be my first race without traction control, so it's gonna be interesting.
True.
It's gonna be interesting.
That is very true. So we'll hopefully you get that practice in, and hopefully you'll be well suited for next week. Because obviously slow corners, you're gonna need that traction.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. But we'll just have to see in just a week's time. Nonetheless, though, congratulations to you on 2nd place. Once again, another podium for you. With that, we move over to the winner of the Dutch Grand Prix. And like Max Verstappen, you take the win here in Zandvoort. And how convenient that you were doing it in his car. The alternate strategy definitely worked out in your favor. Obviously, that mistake from Huis definitely helped you out. But nonetheless, though, the pace you had once you got on those mediums was absolutely electric. And Underdog, you grab your 2nd win of the season. Tell us how that race went from your perspective.
Yeah, it was definitely a good race for me because when I was on those hards before I pitted, I noticed that Huis was losing time, and it dawned on me. It's like, oh, he's saving fuel, so now I can push these hards a couple more laps, so I have more life on the mediums, so I can catch them quicker. So yeah, it was just like, and get the fastest lap. But like last week, I took the fastest lap from Gary. Now today, Gary takes the fastest lap from me. But yeah, overall, it's just a good race. This is definitely my best track in the game. Because you had to be really consistent. Like, the car was on rails for me.
Yeah, the car was on rails, and your consistency was on rails. And while you take your second win, and can I just quickly mention, you finished in the top 5 every single race, and 7 of the 10 races that we've had, you finished on the podium. I mean, that amount of consistency. You said a lot about how consistency is important for you. I think that just rather shows, and you show it once again. Next week, though, bit of a different affair, although you are going to need consistency for it. But you're also going to need to survive the chaos. Baku, Azerbaijan, how do you think you'll fare?
Yes, it's an okay track for me because it's especially the castle section. That's where I lose most of my time. But it's definitely a tough track because I know there's going to be a lot of safety cars.
Yeah, I think with that track, safety cars are pretty much a guarantee. So that's going to be very interesting on how that race will play out. Well, we'll see if you play your cards right for that race. Nonetheless, though, congratulations on your win, your second race win, and pulling away in the Drivers' Championship. With that, that is going to wrap up Tier 3 for us tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, though, for Tier 1 and Tier 2, as they shall race around the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort. Tier 1 first at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then Tier 2 at 10 p.m. You're not going to want to miss it. With 7 rounds left in the championship for each and every tier, the championship, both in the drivers and the constructors, are soon to wrap up. So if you want to see what goes on, be sure to tune in. But from me, that's everything. Good day, good night. See you tomorrow for Tier 1 and 2.